Welcome to another TEPPEN deck guide. My name is Stout, and today we're focusing on the new hero, Feline, from the Monster Hunter franchise. This cute cat comes with some interesting hero arts, but the one I want to show you today is Choral Orchestra. It's 16 AP to pick one friendly unit on the field. Then every unit in your hand and EX pocket with the same tribe gets -1 MP cost. Tribes are not new to TEPPEN. Units have had them since the game's release, but now units have effects that benefit from using cards of the same tribe. That's where Choral Orchestra really shines. There's a lot of ways you can work with this hero art, but today's build is all about humans. Red and green have some of the best human units, so this is a dual color build. You can scan the QR code on screen right now yourself to get a copy of the deck in your game. Liberating Slash is a 2 MP cost action that deals 9 damage to a unit and gives 9 life to the hero controlling that unit. This is a great removal tool, and it's also a way for you to get your life points back up if you're in a tight spot. Sheva is a new epic from the latest expansion. She's a 3 cost 3/3 human, and when she's placed on the field, if a friendly human unit with an MP cost of 5 or more is already on the field, you deal 4 damage split among enemy units. If you don't have Sheva, you could totally run Cody here from Haunted by Memories. They're pretty similar. Rashid has been around for a while. He's a 4 cost 2/5 human unit with combo. He also has growth. At level 2 and 3, he deals damage equal to his own attack to a random enemy unit. This is the new version of BB Hood. She's a 4 cost 1/8 human with agility, and whenever another friendly human unit hits the field, she gains an extra attack point. We're also running the classic BB Hood. She's a 5 cost 2/6 human with rush, and whenever she's played, she deals 4 damage split among enemy units. The Epic Ryu is really good here. He's a 5 cost 2/8 human, and when he's played, he deals 3 damage to one random enemy unit. You can also ascend him on top of another unit, which turns him into Evil Ryu, who's a 6 cost 4/8 human, and after he deals damage to the enemy hero, he removes 2 cards from your deck. He can be really powerful, and being able to ascend on top of a weak unit can be useful, but you don't want to keep Evil Ryu around for too long because he's going to start to mill away your deck. Bombast is a new card that I talked about in my last video. It's a 2 cost action to add a unit with an MP cost of 5 or less from your deck to your EX pocket. If that card is a human unit, it gets -2 MP. You can get a lot of value out of this. Glare of Contempt is basically going to put Beast Cannon in the grave. It is 2 cost to give a friendly human unit +2 attack, and if that unit has an MP cost of 5 or more, it also gains Heavy Pierce, meaning you're going to be dealing your damage even if you strike a unit. The new Karin is a 3 cost 2/4 human, and whenever another human is placed on the field, she gains a shield. Curious Cat Feline is probably my new favorite legendary. He's a 4 cost 1/7 beast and monster. He's a dual tribe type. He's not human, but he does synergize with humans because whenever he's played, he gives a friendly human unit +1 attack and a shield. And after he takes damage and survives, he gains MP boost 20, and this can actually stack. So you can get a lot of value out of this guy. Heavenly Kicks Chun-Li's been around for a long time, and she's still pretty good in the right deck. She's a 5 cost 2/6 legendary human unit with agility and combo. We're going to work Dudley in here. He's a 5 cost 3/6 human. Whenever he's ascended, he gains 3 HP and combo. So he can be really useful, a really cheap ascension if you pull him with Bombast. And finally, we're going to run Killer Bee Strike Cammy here. She's a 5 cost 2/5 human with anti-air, and she's got some memory levels to give her extra stats, and eventually Heavy Pierce and agility if you get that far. This deck doesn't really run enough actions to make use of that on its own, so if you have another human you really want to run here, like if you pulled the new Chris, you could totally use him instead of Cammy. I ran into a lot of mirror matches testing out this deck, and that's just because everybody wants to try out the new hero. That happens with every expansion. So right out of the gate, you want to look for opportunities to at least get a cheap human down on the board early to try to build board synergy. These 5 costs are not fantastic straight out of the gate. You know, they are generally better to pull with Bombast than they would be otherwise because they're so much cheaper. But you do want to try to build up momentum to have a human on the board for you to do Choral Orchestra, because once you get 1 or 2 uses of that, the humans in your hand, I almost said heroes, the humans in your hand are going to become a lot cheaper, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to build up momentum. So you'll notice that our opponent here has placed a Valstrax, which can be a big problem, and he's sealing our Rashid, but that's okay because we have almost enough MP to throw down the legendary Karin here, who is another great choice for this deck, and we're going to seal this Valstrax and get rid of it because Valstrax will become a problem if you don't deal with it quickly enough. We're behind on life here, but we definitely have board advantage. Even though Rashid got sealed, it's not that big of a deal. He is going to use Rescuer's Bullet on that Leon to deal a little bit of damage when that's probably about the best spread that we could have hoped for. And now we're going to be looking to drop another one. BB Hood is a good choice here, and now we have Coral Orchestra. We're going to activate that, so now every human in our hand and EX pocket is going to get -1 cost. So those Karins are going to drop from 3 to 2, Dudley and BB Hood down to 4, which is really going to let us control the board a lot more efficiently than you can in the early game. That Leon ends up coming back, and he uses Coral Orchestra as well, but we're kind of running away with this one at the moment. We have plenty of options. We're going to drop Karin in the middle. He throws down Axel up top to try to copy our Karin, but I don't even want to deal with that. I don't even want the possibility. So we throw Liberating Slash, and realizing he has no options, he's going to go ahead and scoop. I told you there were a lot of Feline mirrors. This one's a little bit different. This is up against Shield Spire, which is the hero art that gives 3 HP and the Besieged effect, which basically means whatever unit has Besieged, any damage that it would take between the 1 and 3 ranged is automatically downgraded to just 1 damage. So this can be troublesome for our deck, and that's because we got some ankle biters in this deck and some ways that we can deal spread out damage. I wanted to start with BB Hood because she's thick. She's got enough HP that she's going to be able to stick around, that you're going to at least be able to trigger 1 or 2 boosts off of her. So we throw down the other BB Hood to soften that up, but then out comes the Feline because he's getting the HP buffs from these units that have the on-death effect. So because BB Hood's on the board, Sheva can get her effect. We throw her down for extra damage. We have board control. He's generating MP faster than us, and then he throws down ZZ Yaku to go ahead and seal that top BB Hood, and then he puts the Besieged effect on his Feline to keep it around a little longer for some guaranteed MP boosts. We once again hit max MP. I don't want to deal with that Feline, so we're going to throw out the legendary Karin, and then we're going to use our Coral Orchestra, and he's going to immediately seal back, which is not that big of a deal because under normal circumstances, these two units would just trade. It's not that big of a deal, and we do have a cheaper board on hand. But he has this in hand, Evasive Action, which is going to let him reset the stats of our Karin, so he's going to kill our Karin, but that's okay, because we're going to use Bombast, and now we have a much cheaper BB Hood at 3 costs. So we're in decent shape here. Going to choose to play the BB Hood to mop that up, get a little bit of extra damage. He's at half life. We are still sitting super healthy with cheaper units in the hand almost all the way around. Another Feline comes out, and I'm fully expecting this to get Shield Spire on it whenever he gets the chance. Rashid's a good choice here, and we're going to be able to trigger Rashid pretty well, even with a full board. Well, we would have if he didn't get sealed, but that's fine because we have plenty of Ascension units in hand. We've got another Dudley, we've got another Ryu, we've got a Sheva on deck, and then out comes the Rainy Turtloid, and he throws Shield Spire on it, which could become a problem. So Rashid is dead. Now, Rainy Turtloid's bread and butter is being able to deal spill over damage. So if you're ever in this situation, the best thing to do is to just not play a unit in that slot of the board. That way, you're only getting hit for 4, which isn't really all that much in the grand scheme of things. He uses Sibling Memories to bring himself back up to 7, but he's in a bad way here big time because we have 2 units that are just going to be nibbling at him a little bit, and as you can see, he doesn't have enough MP to place a blocker. So we take the win pretty convincingly there. Why not? Let's show 3 mirrors in this video. This is another Shield Spire deck with Feline. So again, we're going to be looking for opportunities to get some cheap humans out on the board. I'm not crazy about that starting hand because the 2 glares, just not the best choice right out of the gate. This is a little more playable. Rashid is a great start, which is what we're going to be looking to do. And then out comes Scary, Scary Bad X, which I'm sure you guys will be familiar with if you have played against Charge Shot at all, and I'm sure that you have. So right away, he's going to seal the Rashid, which is a good move. And we really need to get rid of this X because he is going to become a problem. But if he doesn't do something about it, the two of them are going to trade. But I fully expect him to do something about it. So I choose to throw down the Ryu to mop up that X. I don't want him resonating for big HP totals that my deck is not going to be able to overcome. That's not what this deck does. So we have board control now. We're in okay shape. So the Makoto comes out. We drop Sheva to clean up that Makoto. That Makoto is a victory unit, so it would have gained more stats from cleaning up that unit at the top with that Sealed Rashid. So now we're just kind of waiting. We get to max MP, so there's no reason for us not to drop the BB Hood with agility. We use Coral, and that is going to cheapen up almost the entirety of our hand. So now we're just kind of waiting. He's going to drop Shield Spire on this bottom unit, but kind of like with the situation with that Rainy Turtloid from before, even if he manages to beef up one unit, it doesn't really matter all that much. So the purpose of me playing Dudley Ascended down there is I just want a blocker. That's all I want. My plan is to deal enough damage in the top two lanes here and just to chump block in the bottom, because I mean that unit, even though it's got a lot of HP and it can do a lot of damage resistance, it's an ankle biter. It's not really getting any stronger. So as long as I can throw down something that's going to be able to chump block and continue to eat away at these other units, we're going to be just fine. And we have plenty of tools to do it because we've got cheaper units because of the awesomeness that is Coral Orchestra. So again, more units are coming out. We ascend into the Evil Ryu. We're going to be losing our Dudley here on the bottom, but that's fine. We've got other units that we can block with, and he's going to be throwing more Shield Spires out, but that doesn't really matter in the face of that Ryu because he's swinging for 4, so I'm not really sure why he decided that was the best unit for that situation, because it didn't end up working out all that well. I throw down the BB Hood just because the extra spread damage to be able to clear one of the lanes is useful. So it's just like I said, we're in this situation where he's got a very powerful unit on the bottom, but we're just kind of chewing through the two lanes at the top, and we're running away with this a little bit. So we're going to throw Glare just because we're getting close to maximum MP there, and if we do get the Glare, it's going to place Heavy Pierce on this Evil Ryu. So if he can't deal with it, it's going to deal a lot of damage. But he has a way to yoink back his unit and give himself a little bit of extra HP, buy him a little bit of time. But we now have another Coral, which is fantastic. So it's going to cheapen up all the units in our hand. We've got lots of ways to get around this 418, which is not really going to be enough, spoiler alert, for him to edge it out. I throw down the BB Hood on the bottom, and then Evil Ryu deals his piercing damage to clean it up. Hey guys, thanks for taking time to check out this deck guide. I'm going to have more of them coming very soon, so this is your chance to let me know what kind of decks you want me to cover on this channel. Be sure to let me know in the comments, and if TEPPEN is the kind of stuff that you want, subscribing and liking is the best way to let me know that you want more of it. I love you guys, wear your mask, and I'll see you next time.